Hello, I'm Alan McRae with Life Impact. We're here today to talk about what I call an eggshell person. You probably have one in your life, whether you're aware of it or not, but an eggshell person is one of those people that you always have to be very careful. Very careful what you say, very careful what you do, or they may go ballistic on you. They get angry, or they get moody, or sometimes they even get sick. So you're always really careful what you say about them or what you say to them. So you're always on eggshells and trying to be very careful with them. Now, one of the challenges of dealing with an eggshell person is to realize you are not responsible for someone else's emotional state. Now, that's extremely important. And in my trainings, I talk a lot about the difference being responsible for somebody and responsible to somebody. We're responsible for our children. We are responsible to one another. But the eggshell person seems like they require you to be responsible for them. It's a way of controlling you, getting you to say the right thing, do the right thing, be at the right place, all those kind of things. An eggshell person can sometimes, unfortunately, is a parent. Sometimes it might be another sibling. It might be a friend or an employer that you're always trying to please. Now, here's where this gets a little tricky. We always feel like the eggshell person is trying to control us. But here's the question I generally ask that tends to shock people. When do you want to quit trying to control that person in your life? Well, you say, I'm not trying to control them, they're trying to control me. Anytime we are taking responsibility for somebody else's emotional state, we're trying to control them. One of my clients was talking about her mother. Her mother was very sick and having to live with her, and it was not a comfortable situation. And so she was always walking on eggshells with her husband because he didn't really want the mother there, with the mother because she was sick, knew that the husband didn't welcome her that much. And so she said to me, I'm trying to make sure my mother's not upset. So I asked her the question, when do you want to quit being in charge of your mother and her emotional state? And the light bulb went off. She got it very quick, and she said, you're absolutely right. I'm trying to control my mother's state of mind. That's what happens in an eggshell relationship. Now, the challenge is turning loose of being responsible for them. But before I get into that, I'm going to do a little diagram here on the board that probably helps you understand. So here's our eggshell person. Got little cracks all in their life, and we're careful not to break any of those cracks because they're going to get angry, moody, demanding, drama, all the stuff that goes with that. Well, I borrowed this little analogy from somewhere else. I don't remember where I got it, but it's a great analogy. Here's generally what happens. We start off with doing stuff to please the eggshell person, whether it's what we say, what we do, everything we're doing. Well, the doing doesn't change the eggshell person, so now we get angry. So we go from doing to anger, and then the eggshell person, being who they are, helps us develop guilt. So now we feel guilty. We feel guilty about being angry. And so to overcome the guilt, what do? We go back into the doing mode. And this gets to be repetitive, cyclatory. So we're doing anger, guilt, more doing, more anger, more guilt, and this just continues to build and build and build and build until internally it is building up the stress and the tension inside of us until boom, there's an explosion. Now, we either have an explosion or an implosion. Sometimes people have both. An explosion is we just don't care anymore. We go out and do something that we tend to regret later, not for the eggshell person, but for ourselves, or we implode. Imploding is when we turn it all inward and we end up getting sick, our immune system gets messed up, and so we're constantly ill. Anything from irritable bowel syndrome to heart attacks can take place in this implosion. So this goes on, but the eggshell person has still not changed because the eggshell person doesn't trust the change. So what do? First of all, we have to set up very tight boundaries. Now, if you've ever tried to set boundaries on an eggshell person, you know they don't like them. Well, of course they don't like them because it means you're not taking responsibility for them anymore. The second thing is you start taking care of you. That becomes extremely important, that you start taking care of you. You can get so caught up trying to take care of the eggshell person that you actually become neglectful of yourself. So you become empty, void of life, void of any ambition, dreams, hopes, anything. You're just living to try to please this eggshell person. So setting boundaries, taking care of yourself, and being responsible to this person, not responsible for this person. Now, I want to emphasize that one more time. We have a responsibility to each other, but as adults, we're not responsible for each other. Big difference. Once we can make that paradigm shift, it can change everything. Now, what will happen to the eggshell person if you set boundaries, you take care of yourself, and you quit being responsible for them? Well, I don't know what's going to happen to them. It's their responsibility. It becomes their choice, not yours. They may get angry, okay? So they got angry. They may get moody, okay? So they got moody. They may even go into some kind of an illness that's a way of controlling, okay? So they got ill. You are not responsible for that. Now we have a responsibility to them. So this is the separation here that is going to make the biggest difference in you dealing with an eggshell person, stopping this cycle and this pattern of behavior that's going to end up either imploding or exploding, and you can start living free of trying to control the eggshell person and free of the eggshell person controlling you.